ويكافئ مزيدا والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I'd like to welcome you all to the 1445 Virtues Tour. This is the 12th year of this tour, mashallah, tabarakallah. The tour was initiated in 2011. It's an annual tour that celebrates the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam, visiting various towns and cities across the UK in Rabi' al-Awwal every year, mashallah, tabarakallah. This year's tour will begin with the seerah from the 10th year after the first revelation. On stage tonight we have Sheikh Abdul Karim Yahya, Sheikh Ibrahim Osiefa, Amir Sulaiman, Khalid Sadiq, and Nader Khan. We'll begin by opening the majlis with the recitation of the Mawlid and chapter 3 of the Burda. Bismillah.
Bismillah, assalamu alaikum. Okay, amen. Bismillah, assalamu alaikum. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so every year, for the past 11 years, when we do this, we share 3 rules for the Mawlid. We don't want to interrupt the Mawlid in the middle. I shouldn't have to remind you again, especially you guys. They're fine. Okay, 3 rules. Rule number 1, smile. We want to be religious like this, not religious like this. Okay? We have every reason in the world to smile. We have the Prophet ﷺ. Okay? Rule number 2, please turn your cell phones to silent. There's nobody outside who needs to talk to you more important than the one you're talking to right now. Okay? You're on the other line. So switch them to silent. You're welcome to record and share whatever you want on social media. That's okay. Just keep them silent. Rule number 3. What was rule number 3? Oh yeah. Rule number 3. Participate. This is not like cricket. This is not like football. You don't get to watch other people make dhikr. You make dhikr. Okay? So we are all in this gathering together. Yes? Tamam. Okay. Bismillah. Ila hadrati Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Al-Fatiha. يا ربي صل على محمد يا ربي صل عليه وسلم يا ربي يا ربي صل عليه وسلم يا ربي صل على محمد حبيبك الشافع المشفع يا ربي محمد يا ربي صل عليه وسلم يا ربي صل على محمد أعلى الورى رتبة وأرفع يا ربي محمد يا ربي صل عليه وسلم يا ربي صل على محمد أسمى البرايا جاها وأوسع يا ربي محمد يا ربي يا ربي صل على محمد واسلك بنا ربي خير مهيا يا ربي يا ربي صل عليه يا ربي صل على محمد وعافنا واشف كل موجع يا ربي يا ربي يا ربي صل على محمد وأصلح القلب واعف وانفع يا ربي يا ربي يا ربي صل على محمد واكف المعادي واصرفه وردع يا ربي يا ربي يا ربي صل على محمد نحل في حصنك الممنع يا ربي
سلم يا ربي صل على محمد رب ارضى عنا رضاك لرفع يا ربي يا ربي يا ربي صل على محمد واجعل لنا في الجنان مجمع يا ربي يا ربي يا ربي صل على محمد رافق بنا خير خلقك اجمع يا ربي اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا فتحنا لك فتحا مبينا ليغفر لك الله ما تقدم من ذنبك وما تأخر ويتم نعمته عليك ويهديك صراطا مستقيما وينصرك الله نصرا عزيزا. لقد جاءكم رسول من أنفسكم عزيز عليه ما عنتم حريص عليكم بالمؤمنين رؤوف رحيم. فإن تولوا فقل حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله. لما دنا وقت البروز لأحمد عن إذن من ما شاءه قد كان حملت به الأم الأمينة بنت وهب من لها أعلى الإله مكانا من والد المختار عبد الله بن عبد المطلب رأى البرهان صلى الله عليه قد كان يغمر نور طه وجهه وسرى إلى الابن المصون عيانا وهو ابن هاشم للكريم الشهم بن عبد مناف بن قصي كان والده يدعى حكيما شأنه قد ابتلى أعزز بذلك شانا واحفظ أصول المصطفى حتى ترى في سلسلات أصوله عدنانا فهناك قف واعلم برفعه إلى إسماعيل كان للأب معوانا. وحينما حملت به آمنة لم تشك شيئا يأخذ النسوانا وبها أحاط اللطف من رب السماء أقصى الأذى والهم والأحزان ورأت كما قد جاء ما علمت به أن المهيمن شرف الأكوان بالطهر من في بطنها فاستبشرت ودنا المخاض فأترعت رضوانا. سبحان الله والحمد لله إله إلا الله والله أكبر. سبحان الله لا إله إلا الله والله أكبر. سبحان الله والحمد لله لا إله إلا الله والله أكبر. سبحان الله والحمد لله إلا الله والله أكبر ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم في كل لحظة أبدا عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. وتجلت الأنوار من كل الجهات فوقت ميلاد المشفع حانا وقبيل فجر أبرزت شمس الهدى ظهر الحبيب مكرما ومصانا صلى الله عليه صلى الله على محمد. يا نبي سلام عليك، يا رسول سلام الله، يا حبيب سلام عليك، يا رسول الله صلوات الله عليك. يا نبي سلام الله، يا رسول سلام عليك، يا حبيب سلام على الله صلوات الله عليك. أبرز الله المشفع صاحب القدر المرفع، فملا النور النواحي برسول الله عما كل الكون أجمع. يا نبي الله، يا رسول سلام الله، يا حبيب سلام عليك، يا رسول الله صلوات الله عليك. نكست أصنام شرك وبنا الشرك تصدع، ودنا وقت الهداية برسول الله، وحمى الكفر تزعزع. يا نبي سلام الله، يا رسول سلام عليك، يا حبيب سلام عليك، يا رسول الله صلوات الله الله. مرحبا أهلا وسهلا بك يا ذا القدر الأرفع، يا إمام أهل الرسالة، يا رسول الله من به الآفات تدفع. يا نبي سلام الله، يا رسول سلام الله، يا حبيب سلام عليك، يا رسول الله أنت في الحشر ملاذ، لك كل الخلق تفزع، وينادون ترامى، يا رسول الله قد دها من هول أفظع. يا نبي سلام الله، يا رسول سلام الله، يا حبيب سلام عليك، صلوات الله. مرحبا مرحبا يا نور عيني، مرحبا جد الحسين، مرحبا يا نور عيني، مرحبا جد الحسين، مرحبا فلها أنت فتسجد، مرحبا وتنادى اشفع تشفع، مرحبا يا نور عيني، مرحبا حسيني، مرحبا فعليك الله صلى، مرحبا ما بدا النور وشعشع، مرحبا 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 جد الحسين، مرحبا وبك الرحمن نسأل، يا الله وإله العرش يسأل. تسمع مرحبا 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 حسيني ربي فاغفر لي ذنوبي يا الله بركة الهادي المشفع ربي فاغفر لي ذنوبي يا الله ببركة الهادي المشفع يا عظيم المن يا رب يا الله شملنا بالمصطفى اجمع يا الله ربي فاغفر لي ذنوبي ببركة الهادي المشفع يا الله وبه فانظر إلينا يا الله واتنا به كل مطمع يا الله ربي فاغفر لي ذنوبي يا ببركة الهادي المشفع يا الله واكفنا كل البلايا يا الله وادفع الآفات وارفع يا الله ربي فاغفر لي ذنوبي يا الله ببركة الهادي المشفع صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى الله على محمد سلم واسقنا يا رب أغثنا بحيا حتى ليهمع صلى الله على محمد سلم واختم العمر بحسنى واحسن العقبى ومرجع صلى الله على محمد سلم وصلاة الله تغشى من له الحسن تجمع صلى الله على محمد سلم أحمد التراب وآله والصحابة مسح صلى الله على محمد عليه وسلم صلى الله على محمد اللهم سلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله مولاي صل وسلم دائما ابدا على حبيبك خير خلق كلهم يا ربي صل وسلم دائما ابدا على النبي واهل البيت كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم ظلمت نفسي إذ لم تأتي زائرة ضريح أهل الهدى والنور والإمام وشد جدهم أحشاءه وطوى على الطوى مهجة مملوءة الحكم وراودت هم ملوك الأرض بالذهب كيما يكون لهم طوعا لأمرهم فخالفوا أمرهم في كل معصية وجاهدوهم بلا عجز ولا سأم مولاي صل وسلم أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم يا ربي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على النبي وأهل البيت كلهم فالصبر في حسن والحلم شيمته يكفيك ما قد جرى من صلح جيشهم به الخلافة قد تمت كما وردت عن النبي، وزعلت بعد حكمه ميثاق الخليقة في أيام، فغدا كأنه حيدار في الناس كلهم، دع أنه مرسل وانسب له شرفا، وقل له يا ابن خير الخلق والأمم مولاي صل وسلم أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم، يا رب صل وسلم دائما أبدا على النبي وأهل البيت والحرم، فإنه بحر علم طاب وارده، كم جاد للناس من علم ومن كرم، وكل ما قلته من مدح سيدنا، فإنه بعض مما فيه من شيم نبينا المصطفى، قد كان يحمله وكان يسمعه من طيب الكلم، وأكدت قصة السبط الحسين لنا إخلاصه لإله اللوح والقلم، مولاي صل وسلم أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم، يا رب صل وسلم دائما أبدا على النبي وأهل البيت كلهم، وكيف يرضى حياة بعدما هتكت أهل الإمارة شرع الله كالحرم، محمد جده وهو ابن فاطمة، وأصله وأصله بضعة من صاحب العالم، هو الحسين الذي ظهرت شجاعته لله حقا، ولم يسخط ولم يلوم، دعا إلى الله بالعزم القوي ولم يترك طريقة خير الخلق كلهم، مولاي صل وسلم أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم، يا رب صل وسلم دائما أبدا على النبي وأهل البيت كلهم، دعا إلى الله بالعزم القوي ولم يترك طريقة خير الخلق كلهم، وكلهم شاهدوا حقا بأن له هذا الجهاد، لأن الدين لم يقم، وواقفون عن الدعوى لوقفاته حتى دعا فدعوا حقا بجدهم، فهو الذي قام بالدعوى دعوى خالقه مع الذي نرضوا أكرم بسعيهم، مولاي صل وسلم دائما على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم، يا رب صل وسلم دائما أبدا على النبي وأهل البيت كلهم، منزه عن حظوظ النفس سيدنا لا يبتغي غير وجه الله ذي الكرم وانسب إلى المصطفى ذاتا له امتثلت أمر الإله ولم تركن إلى سامي فإن جد حسين كان يخبرهم بالأمر فيما جرى فالحكم للحكم لو كنت تحزن يا هذا فقد حزنت أهل المحبة من عرب ومن عجم مولاي صل وسلم على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم يا رب صل وسلم دائما أبدا على النبي وأهل البيت كلهم أو كنت تبكي فإن الأرض باكية مع السماء وما فيهن من عايا الأعادي فلم تنفع لهم حيال بغض الحسين فضلوا عن نفوسهم لم تأتي قصتهم في قتل سيدهم إلا وكل الورى أنه من الآلام كالشمس كان حسين في نضارته من التلاوة للقرآن في الظلام مولاي صل وسلم أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم يا رب صل وسلم دائما أبدا على النبي وأهل البيت كلهم وكيف أبغضه والنار موضع من في قلبه آثار من بعض بغضهم فمبلغ القول هذا ابن فاطمة بنت النبي له العلياء من قدم أكرم به من شريف طابع صوره أكرم به من حسين قام بالحرام كالزهر والورد بل كالبدر طالعته فلا ظلام يرى إن سار بالحشم مولاي صل وسلم دائما على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم يا رب صل وسلم دائما أبدا على النبي وأهل البيت كلهم كأنه وهو في هذا المقام له من الجنود ملايين من العظام كأنما أحمد المختار سيدنا عند الحسين يرى للقلب فاغتنم لا مشهد فيه نور مثل مشهدهم ولا ملوك لهم عز عزتهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم يا رب صل وسلم دائما أبدا على النبي وأهل البيت كلهم اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله.
Nader. We began with a recitation of the Mawlid, Shimmering Light, and the Qasida that Nader just recited from the Burda is available in the bookstore, inshallah, in the back. Al-Hasani al-Husayni fi Madh al-Khair al-Bariya from Sheikh Salih Muhammad al-Jathri al-Sadiqi al-Husayni. So you can find this in the bookstore in the back, inshallah. He's a Canadian singer-songwriter, recording artist, producer, arts educator, and musicologist, with special focus in traditional contemporary Islamic devotional Sufi music. Over the last 25 years, he has toured and performed across Canada, United States, South Africa, United Kingdom, Norway, the West Indies, Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, everywhere, basically, and on tours with other internationally renowned artists. He has spearheaded various social justice initiatives that promote local and international relief efforts through Islamic devotional music, arts, youth engagement, and inspiration. Please open your hearts and give a warm welcome to Sidi Nader Khan.
Again, to reiterate, we are here to celebrate the beloved of God. You know, just so you know, real men sing. And your masculinity is not so fragile to be cracked with something so masculine. Real men sing. The Sahaba sang. Right? So, they're not the problem. They'll sing with us anyway. They're waiting for you guys to raise your voices. Anybody correct me if I'm wrong. They want to raise your voices so out of their haya they can hide their voices behind yours. Yes? Complete agreement every time. Every time in front of a brown crowd, complete agreement. Come on, right? If you don't know that men sing, watch Lord of the Rings. Sorry? Okay, that's the one lined up. Allah, Allah. And my dua is that these songs are taken and learned and passed on and passed on and passed on. So please don't hold back, sing. صلي ربي على النبي شفيعنا أحمد صلي ربي على النبي مولانا محمد صلي ربي على النبي شفيعنا أحمد صلي ربي على النبي مولانا محمد صلي ربي على النبي شفيعنا صلي ربي على النبي مولانا محمد. The people that in darkness dwelt a glorious light have seen. Oh, God's prophet now to them has come. محمد الأمين صلي صلي ربي على النبي شفيعنا أحمد صلي ربي على النبي مولانا محمد. We hail thee, Allah's prophet, true of prophecy, the seal. Oh, we read with reverence the book thou wast sent to reveal. Salli, Salli, Rabbi ala شفيعنا أحمد صلي ربي على النبي مولانا محمد. For thou the burden didst remove, idolatries fell rot. Lo, and in thy name the idols fell before the sword of God. Salli, salli, Rabbi ala nabi shafi'ina Ahmad. Salli, Rabbi ala nabi maulana Muhammad. To bless Arabia and the world, most surely thou was raised. Oh, we'll sing thy praises evermore. Our Mustafa the praise. Salli, salli, Rabbi ala nabi shafi'ina Ahmad. Oh, salli, Rabbi ala nabi maulana Muhammad. We watch this gentle fostering care, the seed that thou hast sown. Go and trust to hear the world declare God's prophet as its own. Salli, salli, Rabbi ala nabi shafi'ina Ahmad. Salli, Rabbi ala nabi maulana Muhammad. Salli, Rabbi ala nabi shafi'ina Ahmad. Oh, salli, Rabbi ala nabi maulana Muhammad. Come on, it was better than that. I came all the way from Badi Canada. Hey. Okay, here we go. Oh, he split the moon in two and was more beautiful than two moons could ever hope to be. Oh, send peace upon him and his companions and upon his family. Hold the wine, let me tell of marvels that once appeared, shattering the cage of reason, hubris and contumely. At his birth 1,000 signs shone from east and shone from west. Fragrance filled the earth and air. Rebel demons turned to flee. Can such light once have been on when another creature was? Can it be heaven's intent not to initially or pray, my Lord? not revere as they bow to Adam's form. He who was the purest heir of covenant and family. To God's justice I am lost. My actions give me away, but His mercy to the world proclaims hope eternally. Though I fear my wayward ways, still my confidence is sure. For His pleading in my case liberates me utterly. Oh, pray my Lord, grant your blessings always eternally upon Muhammad, His companions and His family. I said, pray my Lord, grant your blessings always eternally upon Muhammad, His companions and His family. Ya Rabbi salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ساداتنا عليه وصحبه الكرام. يا ربي صل على محمد وعلى ساداتنا عليه وصحبه الكرام. يا أكرم الخلق ما لمن نرجو به سواك عند حدود الحادث الحميم. ولن يضيق رسول الله جاءك به إذا الكريم تجلى باسم ينتقم. فإن من جودك دنيا وضرتها ومن علمك علم اللوح والقلم. يا نفس لا تقنطي من زلة عظمت إن الكبائر في الغفران كالأمم. يا نفس وفي علومك علم اللوح والقلم. قل مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. قل مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. قل مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. If He does not take my hand, what reliance can there be on my works and on my prayers offered so distractedly? And may blessings rest on Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, those who merited the greatest rose, as did great Ali. And upon the bidding thing, legions who came after them, faithful women, faithful men, peace be on them constantly. Oh, pray my Lord, grant your blessings always eternally upon Muhammad, His companions and His family. I said, pray my Lord, grant your blessings always eternally upon Muhammad, His companions and His family. I said, pray you came to us. Just as suddenly you went away, the universe still resonates with echoes of. The universe still resonates with echoes of Sallallahu. Oh, flash of light in the flow of time, sweet Medina, beloved of mine, I speak with you in broken words with a broken heart and a broken rhyme. My life is you, my love is you, connection to the Lord above is you, my means to earn His love is you, my cure from distress and dismay. The universe still resonates with echoes of. As a blinding light, you came to us. Just as suddenly you went away, the universe still resonates with echoes of Salah. More generous, there's never been more beautiful, was never seen. I surrender at your doorstep all my dunya and my deen. Oh, one who came to the merciful sight when He said, let there be light, convey my broken hearted might, that a glance of mercy be cast my way. The universe still resonates with echoes of. As a blinding light, you came to us. Just as suddenly you went away, the universe still resonates with echoes of. Oh, Ya Rasul Allah, Ya Rasul Allah, Ya Shafi Allah, Ya Nabi Allah, Ya Habib Allah. Oh no, eye has seen such beauty as thine. No dame has born such a one so fine. You're created free of flaw, as if by your own design. May the Lord upon you send His peace, salutations, blessings that never cease, and to us a gentle breeze that makes us weep our nights away. The universe still resonates with echoes of. As a blinding light, you came to us. Just as suddenly you went away, the universe still resonates with echoes of. عليه اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله.
نعرہ تکبیر نعرہ رسالت
نعرہ تکبیر نعرہ رسالت.
الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا يوافي نعمه ويكافئ مزيدا. يا ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك ولعظيم سلطانك. سبحانك لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك وكرم على سيدنا Muhammad وآله وصحبه. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the prayers, the peace, the blessings, the ennoblement that we've asked Allah to grant Sayyidina Muhammad. We ask him that for his family, we ask him that for his companions, we ask him that for all of his forefathers and brethren of all prophets and messengers. We ask him for that upon all of Allah's angels brought near, Allah's righteous servants of all men and all believing women. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that these be upon all who follow that group that was referenced in goodness until the day in which we're resurrected before Allah. And we ask to be under the banner of Rasulullah. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that those be upon all of us with that group and among that group by Allah's mercy. And Allah is the most merciful of the merciful. Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. And we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for bringing us once more to Luton, for showing us many faces whom we love, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has brought us together year after year in these blessing gatherings in Rabi al-Awwal here in Luton, brought many of us together at blessing gatherings in Hadramaut and in Medina al-Munawwara and in Mecca al-Mukarramah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep all of us together with our shuyukh, with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam wa barak alayhi wa alayhi, and those whom he loves and those who travel upon his way. We ask Allah, just as he's continued to bring us together year after year, we ask Allah to keep us together with all of those brothers and sisters that we've ever come together with in these gatherings. We ask Allah that by Allah's mercy, and he's the most merciful of the merciful, وَهُمُ الْقَوْمُ لَا يَشْقَى بِهِمْ جَلِيسُهُمْ, and they are a people through whom the one who keeps their company is not wretched. So we ask Allah by that company that we've come together in, and by your company and the company of Al-Qawm, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps us together in this life and the next life in the shade of the banner of the praise of the Prophet Muhammad. Allahumma salli wa sallam wa barak alayhi wa alayhi, at his hod and mawrood, his watering place, and with him in Jannah, in khair and lutf and afiyah. And alhamdulillah, we continue to study the virtues of the virtuous one, Muhammad, Allahumma salli wa sallam wa barak alayhi wa alayhi. And in this year's virtues, we are studying the best night in the life of Al-Habib, Allahumma salli wa sallam wa barak alayhi wa alayhi. And that is the night of his nightly journey and his ascension to the heavens, which occurred with scholarly difference, likely in Rabi al-Awwal, and on the 27th of Rabi al-Awwal. And as many of us know, and most of us perhaps commemorate it, also possibly in Rajab, also possibly in Ramadan, also possibly in Shawwal, on a Monday. Just as he was born, Allahumma salli wa sallam wa baraka alayhi wa alayhi, on a Monday. Just as he entered al-Medina al-Munawwara and received revelation on a Monday, and entered al-Medina al-Munawwara on a Monday, and met the highest companion, or went to the highest company on a Monday, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. So after Jibril alayhi salam and Mikail alayhi salam came and brought the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallama from the room in which he was sleeping, which some riwayat put in the house of Hani in the ship of Abi Talib, and brought him to the sacred mosque, as Allah said, Subhanalladhi asra bi'abdihi laylan min al-masjid al-haram. Glory to the one who made his slave travel by night from the Masjid Haram, brought him to the Masjid Haram, and split his chest, washed his blessed heart, filled his chest with iman and hikmah, with wisdom and knowledge and certitude and Islam. Sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. He said, so Jibril traveled with me. And it comes in riwayat that Jibril was to his right and Mikail was to his left. And as we know, he was riding the steed of the prophets, Al-Buraq, that had a state imprinted upon him and impressed upon him, as we saw according to Al-Imam al-Suhrawardi, that he would step as far as he could see. And Al-Imam al-Suhrawardi says that was the state of the Prophet in the Mi'raj, مَا زَاغَ الْبَصَرُ وَمَا طَغَى. The sight neither fell short nor did it transgress. And al-Buraq traveled like that. His step neither fell short of where he saw, nor did it go beyond where he saw. So the Buraq traveled, rushing with al-Habib, Allahumma salli wa sallam wa barak alayhi wa ala alayhi. And if he was a steed of the prophets, then that was the steed of Nabi Muhammad. Allahumma salli wa sallam wa barak alayhi wa ala alayhi. Because all of them, as Al-Busayri said, كلهم من رسول الله ملتمس غرفا من البحر أو رشفا من الديم. Or as the Prophet Allahumma salli wa sallam wa barak alayhi wa alayhi described him, الذي يراك حين تقوم وتقلبك في الساجدين. The one who gazes upon you when you stand and as you fluctuate between the prophets. Ibn Abbas said, from prophet to prophet till he came forth as a prophet. So if Ibrahim alayhi salam rode al-Buraq, the light of Nabi Muhammad was upon al-Buraq. If Adam alayhi salam rode al-Buraq, the light of Nabi Muhammad was upon al-Buraq. If Ma'ad bin Adnan, that grandfather who himself, we don't have a transmission of his nubuwah, rode on the Buraq, the light of al-Habib sallallahu rode on al-Buraq. So that Buraq traveled, rushing with him, placing his step as far as he could see, until they came to a town of palms, of date palms. And Jibril alayhi salam ordered him to descend and to pray, so he did so, and then mounted again and took off. And Jibril said, you prayed where? Where did you pray? At Tayyiba. Tayyiba is the name of what city? What's the name of Tayyiba? Al-Madinah, from the names of Al-Madinah, that good and pure place. And by that, particularly in the previous scriptures, it's known. So he prayed at Tayyiba. He said, you prayed at Tayyiba, and to it will be the Hijrah. So then they continued, and they came to a place. And he said, get down and pray. Jibril instructed him to pray. He descended, and he prayed. And then he departed. He said, you've prayed in Madian at the Shajara of Musa. And then he continued and he traveled. And Jibril said, descend. He descended and prayed. You've prayed at the Mount of Sinai, Tur Sina, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke to Musa. And then he continued to travel until he came to a town from which you could see palaces. And he descended and he prayed and then took off. You prayed in Beit Laham. What's that? Bethlehem, where Isa alayhi salam bin Maryam was born. So for a moment, observe this journey of the Prophet Allahumma salli wa sallam wa barak alayhi wa alayhi. That we could say the whole journey is an ascent. Right? The Buraq traveled with him in the riwayat, Yahwi bihi. From the meanings of that is Asra bihi. He raced with him. From the meanings of that, Irtafa'a bihi. He elevated him. And he, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, was and is in constant ascent. In maqamat, perfect ascent. Sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wasallam. And what did he visit? He visited blessed prophetic lands. And what other purpose is there? Right? Or what more of a significant purpose is there for us to travel than to visit the blessed lands of the prophets of God? Whether that be Mecca. If you visit Mecca, you're visiting somewhere to which every prophet has made hijrah. You're visiting a place in which prophets are buried. Ismail alayhi salam is in the hijr. You're visiting the place in which Al-Habib sallallahu alayhi wasallam was born. Al-Medina, visiting that place of prophecy. Jerusalem, visiting that place of prophecy. The lands of Sham, visiting those places of prophecy. Those of us fortunate, may Allah not make it our last time to visit Nabi Allah Hud, visiting places of prophecy. That is a prophetic sunnah, right? That is a maxim in the Sharia of Nabi Muhammad, and a subtlety here, Mawlid, right? That construct in the Arabic language, it can mean place or time. So he, alayhi salam, honored the place of the birth of Isa, alayhi salam, and honored it with a visit, and honored it with rak'at, right? Rak'atan, or salah, you could say. So how would we then not honor the Mawlid, the time of the Nabi Muhammad, Allahumma salli wa sallam wa barak alayhi wa alayhi, and how also will we not honor the place of the birth of the Nabi Muhammad, Allahumma salli wa sallam wa barak alayhi wa alayhi, just as he honored the place of birth of his brother in prophecy, Isa alayhi salam. So then, during this journey, that again we can call all of that ascension, Allah showed him wonders, and Allah described that لِنُرِيَهُ مِنْ آيَاتِنَا, that we could show him our signs. And in the maratib of yaqeen, and may Allah give all of us yaqeen. And if we reflect on it, and if we attach to it, Al-Mi'raj is a journey of yaqeen. Right? With the Mi'raj, the Isra and the Mi'raj, and the return to Mecca, Sayyidina Abu Bakr became a Siddiq. Right? That one of those great stations of yaqeen, of as-Siddiqiyah. Right? The stations of the true saints. And what is their station of yaqeen? Their station of yaqeen of the true saints and the prophets is haq yaqeen. Right? They don't just have a certainty of knowledge or a certainty of sight. They have a certainty that is mulasaqa, touching and experiencing and being in the realities upon which they believe. That is the yaqeen of the prophets and the siddiqeen, and obviously that's the yaqeen of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. So as he's traveling on al-Buraq through these realities, he's traveling through realities, experiencing, conversing with realities of the unseen. Allahumma salli wa sallam wa barak alayhi wa alayhi. And as Suhrawardi said, ma zagha al-basar wa ma tagha, his sight did not fall short, nor did it transgress. His sight was in perfect alignment with his inner sight. What his heart experiences, his eyes saw. Allahumma salli wa sallam wa barak alayhi wa alayhi. So from the realities that Allah showed him, and from the gems that he brought back to us, he's traveling, and there's a demon traveling along with him with like a torch. Every time the Prophet ﷺ looks in the direction, there's that demon. So Jibril, he says, should I teach you something that will extinguish the fire of this shaitan? And in this riwayat, ifrit min al-jinn, right? Strong jinn. In other riwayat, this dua is for shayateen that attacked. In one riwayah, shayateen attacked the Prophet ﷺ from mountains and valleys, and he says this dua that he's taught by Jibril alayhi salam. This dua also comes in a riwayah, who, our champion, right? Khalid ibn al-Walid complained to the Prophet ﷺ that he would become fearful at night. But that isn't like any fear, Khalid's fear. If Khalid has a faza, you be afraid. You know soldiers, it's not pretty, man. Someone that's really a fighter might wake up choking the person sleeping next to them. So Khalid would take his sword and strike anything he saw. So he complained about this state to the Prophet ﷺ, and my son told me he was listening to this last night. Some of us are afraid of the dark, right? Or we were afraid of the dark. Well, here's what the Prophet ﷺ gave to Sayyidina Khalid bin Walid when he's scared in the dark. Now, I'll be honest, I noted this fact, that's why on my iPad, because sometimes we go hunting, you're up in the woods all by yourself at night, climb out of a tree, there's a coyote over there, something with shiny eyes up in here. I like some special du'as to arm myself up. Maybe some of you guys like some special, and you ladies like some special du'as to arm yourself up. Here's some armor from a Nabi Muhammad taught by Jibril alayhi salam. So he said, I'll teach you this dua. Shall I not teach you these words? If you say them, it will extinguish his fire and he'll fall to his face. So the Prophet ﷺ said, Bala. So Jibril said, Qul. This is the riwayah of Malik and Muwatta. Others narrate it. The riwayah of Khalid bin Walid is at Tabarani. So he said, Qul, A'udhu bi wajhillahi al-kareem wa bi kalimatillahi al-tammati allati la yujawizuhunna barrun wa la fajr min sharri ma yanzil min as-sama'i wa min sharri ma ya'rij فيها ومن شر ما ذرأ في الأرض ومن شر ما يخرج منها ومن فتن الليل والنهار ومن طوارق الليل والنهار إلا طارقا يطرق بخير يا رحمن. And some of the translation of that is, I ask by the noble countenance of Allah and by His perfect words that neither any righteous person or corrupt person can surmount. I seek refuge from all that descends from the sky and from the evil of what descends from the sky, and I seek refuge from the evil of what ascends in the sky, and I seek refuge from what is broadcast in the earth, and I seek refuge from what emerges from the earth, and I seek refuge from the trials of night and day, and from everything that comes by night and day, except something that comes with good, O Rahman. So he said that, and this shaitan, sure enough, his fire was put out, and he fell to his face. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all protection. Inshallah, we wanted to share this as a faida. It's recorded. You'll find it. Search riwayat. It's in Muwatta, Tabarani. Ahmad narrated it, and so on. We need armor from shayateen. We need armor from shayateen. We will repeat it, inshallah ta'ala. And a time will come towards the end of time, during the time of Dajjal. He'll appear to resurrect people from graves, and there'll be demons that look like dead family members. People will be hugging shayateen, demons, thinking that they're family members, and you got all kind of devils of mankind and jinn talking crazy stuff. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us protection from them, and we say, A'udhu bi wajhillahi al-kareem wa bi kalimatillahi al-tammati allati la yujawizuhunna barrun wa la fajr wa min sharri ma yanzil min as-sama'i wa sharri ma ya'riju fiha wa sharri ma dhara'a fil ardi wa sharri ma yakhruju minha wa min fitni al-layli wan nahar wa min tawariq al-layli wan nahar tariqan yatruqu bi khairin Ya Rahman. And from the wonders that he was shown, or rather we could say that he experienced, is he smelled a beautiful fragrance. And he asked Jibril, what is this fragrance? What is this fragrance? This fragrance was a fragrance of a mu'minah. What was the special about this believing woman? This is the fragrance of the woman who combed the hair of the daughter of Fir'aun. So what is she? She's a hairdresser. She's a hairdresser for a tyrant. She's a servant, possibly a slave, right? In the midst of disbelief, like Asiyah, may Allah be well pleased with her. In the midst of disbelief, someone in the palace of Fir'aun himself, right? That great archetype of evil from the Quran. But she reached a station where she's commemorated on the best night of the life of the Nabi Muhammad. Allahumma salli wa sallam wa barak alayhi wa alayhi. Her mention is immortalized by the tongue of Habibillah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. So what was unique about her, she dropped her comb, right? Comb fell. She picked her comb up like a believer. Bismillah Rabbi. Picked it up in the name of Allah, my Lord. So that kafirah, that disbeliever, the daughter of Fir'aun, said, do you have a Lord other than my father? She said, My Lord and your father's Lord is Allah. So she said, I'm going to tell him. Right? It's a journey of yaqeen, celebrating people of yaqeen. This is someone of yaqeen. Right? They say they got minority fiqh. Some people got minority fiqh. I say we need some minority sidq. Right? To be true to Allah is a minority in the face of disbelief. She had minority sidq. She said, tell him. That's what I'm on. I'm on that. I'm on Allah as my Lord. Tell him. So she told him, he summoned her, do you have a Lord other than me? My Lord and your Lord is Allah. So he ordered like a huge pot of copper and boiled oil and threatens, I'm gonna kill you and your family. He's gonna literally boil them in oil with the adab Allah Ta'ala. So she says, I just have one request from you. You gather my bones and my children's bones in one shroud and bury us together. He says, you have that haq over us. So her children are thrown into this oil to be boiled one after the other till it comes to the last. That's a child she's nursing, right? She's a nursling, right? Under 2 years old child. And it's as though taqasat, right? It's as though she wavered. So the child says, Uthbut ya umma innaki ala al-haq. Remain steadfast, mother. Surely you're on the truth, right? So then she's martyred along with the rest of her children. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be well pleased with her and not deny our daughters and mothers and wives the sight of the likes of her. Ibn Abbas said about this riwayah, 4 spoke as children, and 4 doesn't mean only 4 necessarily. 4 in a riwayah has implications. Isa bin Maryam spoke, and the child of Jurayj, and this child, and the Shahid of Yusuf alayhi salam. So this was one of the children that spoke, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed us of by that great Isra and Mi'raj of al-Habib. And mashallah to our sisters, right? How many a believer has been steadfast with prophecy on the truth, right? The first martyr, as we studied some years ago, Sumayya radiallahu ta'ala anha wa ardaha. As we studied Sayyidatina Khadija bin Khuwaylid, sacrificing with the Habib sallallahu for those 10 years, until eventually she sacrificed her own soul, radiallahu ta'ala anha wa ardaha. And then this believing woman, right, who gives us a lesson, and Allah gave us all a lesson on the tongue of her child. Remain steadfast, you were on the truth. Right? And a time will come where we may be faced with trials. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in lutf and afiyah, grant us the yaqeen of the likes of her. So then he, sallallahu alayhi wa sallama, he continues to travel until until he enters Jerusalem from the gate al-Yamani, you could say the southerly gate, the gate in the direction of al-Yaman. On that journey, Allah continued to show him wonders from the unseen, wonders from which each of us can draw a lesson. From the things he saw were people who had scissors of iron and they're cutting their lips and their tongues. Whenever they cut them off, they return and they cut them off again. Who are those, O Jibril? Those are khutaba al-fitan. People, speakers, and we specifically brought this as a reminder for ourselves. Speakers of fitna, they say what they do not do, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from them. He passed people with fingernails like of copper, right, or brass. Bronze, excuse me. Scraping away their faces and scraping their backs. Who are those, O Jibril? Those are the people that eat the flesh of people, right? Backbiters who violate the reputations of others. He passed a man, or rather he passed a reality, right? And the realm of the unseen and the realm of dreams is oftentimes an allegorical world, right? So he passed a man, but what does he see? He sees a bull come out of a little hole. Huge bull come out of a little hole. Like imagine, you watch cartoons. A bull come out of a mouse hole. and it tries to go back, and it can't go back in the hole after it's come out. What is that? That's a person who made a very grave statement that they regret, that they want to retract, and they can't retract it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. So then he enters Jerusalem, it's again through the Yamani gate, and there's 2 pillars of light on either side. What is that, O Jibril? One of the pillars of light is the mihrab of Dawood alayhi salam. The other pillar of light is upon the grave of Maryam. And he says, on the grave of your sister Maryam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be well pleased with her. And then he enters the masjid, and he enters through the door through which the sun and the moon set, so we'd say a westernly gate, and then dismounts the buraq, and in 2 riwayat. One riwayah, Jibril alayhi salam takes his finger and pierces the boulder, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam ties the buraq to this boulder. In another narration, the narration of Muslim, he ties it to the link, the loop that the prophets would tie the buraq to. And then he and Jibril alayhi salam, wa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they enter al-Masjid al-Aqsa. Subhana alladhi asra bi'abdihi laylan min al-Masjid al-Haram ila al-Masjid al-Aqsa alladhi barakna hawlahu linuriyahu min ayatina. So he concludes this Isra at al-Masjid al-Aqsa in Lutf and Afia and Karam and honor. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not deny us and our loved ones and our offspring the sight of it, and praise 2 rak'ahs. La ilaha illallah, and then a huge multitude of people come, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam knew them to be the various prophets and messengers, one of them standing, one of them bowing, one of them prostrating, right? And we know that these prophets, most of them are in a barzakhi life, right? Most of them are in a barzakhi life. So some people talk about, do you believe in Hazar, Nazar? I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I speak Arabic and English. Don't speak Urdu. Don't argue the arguments of the subcontinent. What I know is Hudur al-Anbiya fi al-Isra wal Mi'raj. In Bayt Maqdis, in the Sama, at the grave of Musa alayhi salam, passing the Prophet, Assalamu alayka ya awwalu, Assalamu alayka ya akhiru, Assalamu alayka ya zahiru, Assalamu alayka ya batinu, and so on. So then an adhan and aqama is called, and either the prophets keep pushing forward, the Prophet Muhammad or Jibril alayhi salam, and there's no haraj and a jama'ah between those, takes him by the hands, and he leads all of the prophets in a salah. And there's a point here, and as Subki said, so he is the prophet of all prophets and their imam. He, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, is the imam of all the prophets, and that appeared that night on the Isra and Mi'raj, on the earth, him leading them in prayer in the Masjid al-Aqsa, and it appears on Yom al-Qiyamah when he said, Adam and all those after me are beneath my banner on Yom al-Qiyamah, and it also appears prior to his earthly life in the covenant that was taken from them, that they would surely support him and follow him if he came in their time. And there's a subtlety here. Among that gathering was Isa alayhi salam. And Isa alayhi salam, among those prophets, is in his earthly life. Right? Musa, we know the Prophet ﷺ visited Musa in the Kathib al-Ahmar, and Musa standing on the Isra and Mi'raj, right? Prior to Jerusalem, Musa alayhi salam is standing in his grave praying. Right? The prophets are alive in their graves, a barzakhi life. The life of the barzakh, praying. Right? That's the state that Musa alayhi salam's in. And he's also, as we know, in Bayt al-Maqdis. And he'll also be in the Sama, as we'll see. Right? We'll see numerous meetings with Musa alayhi salam. Isa alayhi salam is in the earthly life. And he'll descend and return in the earthly life. So they say Musa among the messengers is Nabi, right? Isa. Isa among the messengers is Nabi, right? Isa's a Nabi, he's a prophet. Isa among the messengers is Rasul. Isa alayhi salam, Jesus is a messenger. He is a prophet and messenger among the messengers, Isa alayhi salam, is a Sahabi. He is a Sahabi, he's a companion of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. What's a companion? Someone who met the Prophet Muhammad on the earth in his earthly life, the earthly life of Isa alayhi salam, believing in him. And Isa alayhi salam returns as a messenger. May Allah not deny our bloodlines the sight of him and the support of him, and those who meet him then are tabi'un. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala connect us always with the one of Isra and Mi'raj in our life, in our sayings, in our yaqeen, in our thabat, in our protection from fitan of this world and the next, and every fitan and every tariq, illa tariqi yatruku bi khair, in our own ascension and salah on Yawm al-Qiyamah at the Hawd with him in paradise. We ask you that by your mercy, O Allah. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Arhamar Rahimin. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa alihi wa sallam. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Please excuse me.
We're going to watch a short video from Seven Wells, inshallah, and then our dear brother Amr Sadiq is going to come up and give us a short presentation, inshallah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله تعالى على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم. Just seen a video there, and it should come as no surprise to anybody, you know, that we've all heard about the news, what devastation that's hit Morocco, the devastation that's hit Libya. And I was just thinking that the back then that alhamdulillah, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best of planners, but as Sheikh Ibrahim, when he set this campaign, he said the Ummah's in crisis. And look at the crisis that comes to the Ummah just before the blessed month of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I was just thinking that, I thought that this is kind of like, you know, it's a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for us as the Ummah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What is our connection to the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam? At the time when these people are in dire need, where is the Ummah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam cried through the nights for his Ummah. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you know, the orphan was so dear to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and so many families kind of like, you know, have lost their parents, their mothers, their fathers in this devastation. In Morocco, this is the largest earthquake they've had in 120 years, and it came just before the blessed month of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In Libya, this flood that came, they actually travelled through Europe, and during this travelling through Europe, it killed 20 people. Yet when it hits the Ummah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it kills 11,000 people. So, you know, as an Ummah, you know, we have a duty to you know, support the people of Morocco. Now, Allah bless all the Muslim charities, mashallah. They've all come forward. As soon as this happened, everybody started fundraising, mashallah. And it doesn't stop. You know, this is our duty now as the Ummah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to really kind of like, you know, stand up and really give whatever we can give. Because you know, when the blessed month of the Prophet ﷺ, as Shaykh Ibrahim kind of says to us that, you know, if we have one boast, the only boast that we have Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He's our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He cried for us through the nights. He cried for our loved ones. Just as Shaykh was now speaking about kind of like, you know, may our progenies, future generations all be protected, and may they all have a connection to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So no doubt we've all given, we've all heard, it's impacted us. And again, like Shaykh Ibrahim tells us that, you know, if you know, when you hear these devastations, if they don't impact your heart, if they don't soften your heart, then travel to the lands, travel to Morocco, go to Libya, see those people who have lost their loved ones. You hear the story about, you know, there's a teacher. She wasn't in school on one day. She goes back to the school where the children were. All 32 children had died. She's calling out the names of the individual children, where it's like taking a register. This person has died, this youngster has died, this youngster has died. So just at Windsor Trust, inshallah, 7 wells, inshallah, likewise, we're raising funds in this blessed month in the name of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In this blessed month, you know, we're told to send salawat on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, send it in abundance. We're told to read about the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, read it in abundance. We're asked to attend gatherings in the name of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, attend these gatherings. But likewise, given the name of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam this blessed month, each and every day, inshallah, kind of like, you know, connect to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this way as well. Again, we're the ones, inshallah, who are going to benefit from this, inshallah. So we have a campaign that's running now. Inshallah, you all have an A5 poster. There's a QR code in here. Please scan the QR code and just give whatever, inshallah, your heart allows you to give today, inshallah. We all know, we've all heard so many times that kind of like, you know, we know it's a fact that we're the ones who will, our whatever we give will never go to us and only increase in this world and likewise in the hereafter as well. Likewise, visit us on the book stand at the back here, inshallah. You know, come and visit us there if you want to give any kind of donations, but please support the campaign, support whoever you can, inshallah. You know, our brothers and sisters, our mothers, our fathers and children in Morocco and Libya. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi wa sahbihi.
Jazakallah khair, Sayyama. We're going to take a brief intermission, 20 minutes inshallah. We'll be back here at 9:30. The sisters' facilities, inshallah, are downstairs. The brothers' facilities are up here to the left. The relics are open. They're asking if the brothers could go first tonight because they said the majority of the sisters, or a good portion of the sisters, have seen them. So if the brothers could go down and see the relics downstairs, inshallah, and then let the sisters go after you, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. And the bookstore is open now as well. Jazakumullahu khair. We'll see you at 9:30, inshallah.
About 6 years ago, I got a text message from Dubai from the brother who always travels with Habib Hussein Sargaf. Habib Hussein, apparently, there's a song that I had written a while ago. So it seems Habib Hussein dreamt that he was singing his song in that dream. And he woke up singing it, which sort of gave me the shivers. It's his favorite song, from what I do. Yours too? You don't even know what I'm doing. Tamam. So let's do this, and I would like everybody to participate, please. It's not difficult. Muhammad, 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 सांसों की माला पे Muhammad, Muhammad, सांसों की माला पे Muhammad, Muhammad, सांसों की माला पे Muhammad, Muhammad, chanting with every breath the name of my love. Chanting with every breath the name of my love. And my beloved is all that I am thinking of. Oh, oh, oh. Chanting with every breath the name of my Muhammad, 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 Muhammad. Morning sunlight, screaming with joy, playing hide and seek in his hair. Oh, hide and seek in his hair, kissing his face, drunk with so much love, stumbling here and there. Oh, stumbling here and there. Oh, may I be granted with what he has from above. May I be granted with what it has from above. And my beloved is all that I am thinking of. Oh, chanting with every breath the name of my Muhammad, 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 Muhammad. If you're having trouble saying that, you have bigger problems than you think. Muhammad, 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 Muhammad.
Our next honored guest is a writer, director, and producer for film and television, and a two-time Grammy-nominated poet, recording artist. He is a writer and executive producer on the award-winning show Grammy and the upcoming Marvel series Ironheart on Disney+. As a poet and musician, he has performed his works across the United States and around the world. His album, 846 with Dave Chappelle, has earned him a Grammy nomination in 2021. The following year, his follow-up album, You Will Be Someone's Ancestor, Act Accordingly, with Robert Glasper, earned another Grammy nomination. His poetry collection, Love, Gnosis, and Other Suicide Attempts, met with critical acclaim, in addition to his latest album, The Opening, the third in a unique trilogy project. He was first introduced to the national audience in 2004 when he was featured for 2 seasons on Russell Simmons' groundbreaking series, Deaf Poetry Jam, on HBO. Please open your hearts and give a warm welcome to Sidi Amir Suleiman.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح ما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق نصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقدار العظيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hey, you guys used to treat me like a nice guest back in the day. I don't know if I've overstayed my welcome or not. I can't get the basic Muslim rights. What's happening in Luton? Mashallah. This is our 12th Virtues to our 12th year. Very grateful for that. I'm grateful as a guest here in your country to be here and share these moments with you year in and year out. And looking any of my flaws or mistakes, you keep inviting me back, and I pray that you keep inviting me back. I'd like to thank Sheikh Ibrahim Osiefa and Greensville Trust and Seven Wells and all of the people who have cooperated, those known and unknown, in facilitating this gathering for us, and particularly making this affair always very easy and pleasing for myself and my brother and our other guests that are traveling from around the world. Also, I'd like to congratulate you, all of you, because you have created a tradition. Now, this is like a British thing that you guys are doing. This is a thing every year, even if this is your first year, but among you are people that have facilitated this happening and have come together and congregated on behalf of celebrating the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam around the country. And now you have created something for yourselves, and this is a great honor for you as British Muslims, and that for your children and the children that come after them, that they'll see you as the forerunners in establishing this tradition, and to have a tradition from among your people, not just your ethnic people from wherever you come from, but here, that you, when you are raised up before Allah, and when you are raised up before His beloved, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, say this is something that we did, and we didn't do it except for you. There's no other reason for us to do it, and that is a great, great thing, that there's no other reason that we've gathered here. There's faces that I see here that I've seen over the years, some young people who have grown up, some other people that maybe we only give the salams, but I see you every year, and I know you only by way of this, and that's a great thing. It's a great thing, alhamdulillah. Even these people on the stage here who I've come to love over the years and spending time with them and traveling with them, that we only know each other because of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We wouldn't know each other at all. We might not even like each other if we knew each other. But however, we've come to love each other because of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that's the only reason. There's some faces here that make me so happy when I see them because they're inextricably linked to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because when I see you, I think about the Mawlid, I think about the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I think about virtues. So although our relationship may seem small in the way that we don't spend so much time together, but know that the little time we gather together is great with Allah. This is the likes of things that will win us shade on a day when there is no shade except for the shade of Allah, that we came together for no other reason. There's no other reason for us to be here together except for praising Allah, thanking Allah, extending our gratitude to Allah for bringing forth the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the lights of a month like this. So I congratulate you on that, and I extend my thanks to you for having me be here and be a part of this with you. Now, I asked my Sheikh about the body and soul. He said the problem is people think that they are bodies alone. And when people think that they are bodies alone, then they lose sight of the goal. That's why they'll kill for the crown or die for the throne. He said the Truth is that Shaitan should have bowed down to our Father as he was told, but he couldn't see Adam as a spirit, just mud in the mold. Likewise, he only saw us as bodies alone. Said, and everybody will leave their body for home. So I suggest that before you descend into your grave, you repent and atone. He said the other problem is people think their body is their own, but we own nothing. Our bodies alone. Because Allah created everything and everything he owns on his own. But Allah is forever near. So although everybody's alone, nobody's alone. He said, La ilaha illallah, in the known and unknown, in the seen and unseen, I felt it chill in my bones. He said it in a voice and a tone that lit up my soul. His dhikr beads were flickering like there was flint in the stones. And I remember being so grateful for this moment alone. He had a white garment that was embroidered with gold. He brushed a little piece of lint from my throat. I remember the air was electric and fragrant with amber and rose. And he looked at my beads and he looked at my phone. He said, Amir, which do you suppose you use one more than those? I didn't answer. He said, well, you see, the phone is just dead glass until you type in the code. He said, likewise, your beads are just wood, stone, and a bone until you have the code. And so you've come to me here now seeking for more secret codes to be disclosed for you to find some means of approach to the Lord of the throne. I said, yes, Sheikh. He said, would you call me right now on your phone? I said, no, Sheikh, because I'm sitting here with you in your home. And with that, he just smiled and left that alone. He said, if you think the people will benefit, put this advice in one of your poems. Sheikh, what should I focus on when I compose? He said that the secret of secrets is really something that everybody knows. That everybody will eventually leave their bodies for home. And although everybody's alone, nobody's alone. And Allah is with us here, now, but Allah is alone. And she asked, where is the truth hidden? I laughed, not because I asked, not because she asked, but because as I'm living, I'm learning that the truth is hidden everywhere. Literally everywhere. There is no place you can scour, search, or visit except the truth is in it. The truth is hidden even in the question, where is the truth hidden? In truth, the truth isn't hidden. It can't be hidden. It is the true and living. Those that are seeking to hide the truth try to convince me and you that they hid it, but they didn't. It is not that the truth isn't being spoken. Perhaps we are just not ready to listen. Certainly we are not ready to listen. And you may be at home in my poem, and if not, you may just visit. And if you can't visit, maybe you shouldn't listen. I mean, my poetry is not for everyone. It's no navy blue, Yankee fitted. In fact, it's highly acidic, enough to burn through the mind of a critic. Why be a cynic? When we're moving beyond the speed of light, there is no difference between time and distance. Such I'm both here and there in the same instant. For instance, I'm both man and infant, both devil and angel. I'm both the witness and the witnessed, both monk and misfit. I am the medicine in this sick. If you would like to know what the truth is, and I wrote the answer, the axis of the seven senses, and I told sis, hold this close to your heart and to your soul, sit still when the summer solstice. She said, I can't keep my soul still, it's hard to hold my focus. She said, I've noticed that I can't seem to focus on any real goals, I can only focus on what's closest. She said, how do you know what your goal is? I said, I don't. How does one save the souls of the soulless? An eviction notice stapled to the heart of the heedless. Souls left homeless, no place to reside in, so they hide out and slide in the bodies of two-eyed men. So my lyricism is an exercise in exorcism, but the exoteric call it esotericism. I learned jihad from Rumi. The Sunni call me Shia, the Shia call me Sufi. The Fed say I have WMDs, what I do with the loose leaf, because what I do with the loose leaf make devils lose sleep. And I don't care who's on whose beam. I follow the one who ascended the seven heavens and lands on 2 feet. And it may be too deep, but it is only by his light that you can see through me. And if by his light we have sight, then what is the meaning of day and what is the meaning of night? And I would like not to say that I'm living at night, but I'm living very late, Asr. Inna l'insana lafi khusr. Rough translation, I'm a loser. I aim to block his light, yet claim to follow his sunnah. The truth is, I wish I could sing, so I can mask the bitter truth with sweet melody. Unfortunately for both you and me, I only know how to speak straight with direct diction that doesn't allow for mistakes. She said, you speak so whole, while the beat breaks is so ill, it's so real. I said, it's so real, but I'm so